These are my Strandberg guitars. This is a Bowden NX Fusion and a Bowden NX Original. I've had these guitars for about 2 years now, and I love them. I play these things all the time. I think they are incredibly versatile. They are definitely a lot more robust than their lightweight would make it seem. I've even dropped this one on a tile floor on a gig. Not super happy about it, but it did hold up pretty well, and maybe I'll make a short about that in the future at some time when I get over the embarrassment. They sound great. They play phenomenally. I've had a really good experience with these Strandbergs. However, they are not perfect guitars. There are a couple of annoying things about them. And in this video, I'm going to talk about my top 5 annoying things about Strandbergs. What's up, friend? My name is Matthew Dale. I'm here to help you play better, sound great, and understand more. And something that is going to immediately help your guitar playing. It's not buying a brand new guitar, although that does seem like it would help, or we would want it to help in a lot of cases. It's actually having a better and more thorough command of music theory. And an incredible resource for that is my Essential Music Theory cheat sheet. You can find it at matthewdale.com/theory and download it for yourself. It's also linked in the box below. So coming in at number 5 is going to be the jack placement. Now, when you have a strap on the guitar and you wrap the cable around this way and you plug in, it actually kind of makes sense. I kind of like it, and it does keep that strap a little bit out of your way. But if you don't have a strap on, like here I am just sitting in my studio in my chair, then you plug it in and it just kind of droops down and your cable kind of hangs, like that. It's not necessarily great, kind of gets in the way. And it's even worse, I guess, if I can say that, if you are using one of these like wireless guitar things that, don't have like the big pack or anything. It's just the dongle. And if you put that, there's no real great way to, like, I'm kind of rubbing up against this side here on that recess. So either I'm rubbing up against the wood or I'm kind of putting this in somewhat of an awkward position. It would be really good if I could leave it like that. Now it's like fully seated and it's kind of locked in there, but that kind of gets in the way of when you're strapped and you're playing it. It's not so much a big deal if I'm just sitting here, but if you have a strap on and you are playing live like we would be doing with a wireless guitar unit probably like this, it gets a little bit annoying. I've said it before in my reviews of both of these guitars that these stay in tune really, really, really well, and I love the hardware. However, it's not quite as simple to tune the thing as it would be your traditional headstock up here. And that's because if you are, just plucking the string and tuning it, you kind of have to pluck, and then with the same hand go to tune, and then pluck and tune and pluck and tune. That's a little bit slower on a more traditional guitar with the headstock up here on my original, but it's even more complex, or complicated, I guess I should say, on a Strandberg with the movable tailpiece, the tremolo or vibrato tailpiece, whammy bar, or whatever you want to call it, because as you are putting pressure here to tune it, you're actually kind of moving that string a little bit. So if I play my D and then I go to tune it, I'm very, very lightly going to be applying either up or down pressure, which is going to affect the tuning. So what I have to do is pluck, see where I am on my tuner, adjust, let it settle, play again, and gauge it from there. So it is just a little bit more annoying than your typical 6 a side or 3 on each side tuners up here, your typical headstock setup. Those two are pretty minor. This next one is something that's going to be a little bit more annoying. I don't know if I'd call it major, but a little bit more annoying. And that's the intonation adjustment. Now, they did rectify this on the Bowden Essential. They redesigned some different hardware where you can actually adjust it with like the strings on and do some other stuff. But on the typical NX that I have here, whether it's the original, the hardtail, or the tremolo like I have on my Fusion, what you have to do is actually completely loosen the string where you can get it off the saddle, loosen a set screw on the inside, make an educated guess on where that intonation should be, tighten everything back up, put the string back on the saddle, tune it back up, and check it. And if it's still off, you have to repeat that process over and over and over again. Now, obviously with intonation, and once you have your preferred string gauge on there, for me, on my Strandbergs, I go with 11 to 50. I like the way that feels. After you get that adjusted and use the same size and brand of strings, it's kind of set it and forget it. However, getting it to that point is kind of annoying. Another annoying thing is I use air quotes here, the headstock shape. Obviously, there is no headstock, but the end of the neck here, this shape has a lot of like hard edges, hard corners. And it's not so much the wood. I mean, the wood is okay. And as you can see behind me, I mean, you can still actually hang them on a guitar hanger. There's a little bit of meat back here to put onto a wall hanger or something. But it's more so this shape coupled with the hardware shape up here. There's a pretty hard edge on the high E string side of the string locking mechanism up here. So if I was to go and play like an F6-9, then my finger is kind of catching that. Now, if you're a player that doesn't often play open chords, then I guess it wouldn't bother you too much. But if you are playing some open chords, then you might run into that issue where you're just sort of hitting that and it's not quite as comfortable for something that is an incredibly ergonomic guitar. It is something that I think is a little bit looked over on just how that string lock is positioned on the other side of the nut. And the number one most annoying thing about playing a Strandberg actually has nothing to do with the guitar itself. I really like the way these guitars play and sound, and I've had nothing but a good experience with them. However, the most annoying thing is the people's reaction to this guitar. Could just be headless guitars in general, although I think Strandberg lately just gets more attention for this because of the different body shape, the Endure neck shape, all of the other things that make a Strandberg. You will never hear the end of it. Whether that's, something as benign as just people coming up and asking you that, as they have me all the time, okay, how do you tune that thing? Because we don't have tuners down here. And, it's as simple as, there's like fine tuners like on a violin style down here, although they're not really fine tuners. They're just actually pretty accurate tuners, but they're not the same function as a fine tuner. I digress. And some of the other stuff that I've heard on my review videos or anything else, on one of my earlier review videos, someone did comment, that's an interesting instrument. It's not a guitar, but it's an interesting instrument. I did a tone video for Modern Praise and Worship where I was playing my Fusion with the tremolo arm, and someone said, could you imagine playing that on a Sunday morning during a worship set? I'm like, yeah, I do it all the time, and it sounds great, and it works incredibly well in that environment. It's got a great bridge pickup sound for drive and the single coil tones. Like, it just works in that environment. But people are so sensitive to the way it looks. Maybe if you're playing prog metal and that sort of thing, like, those communities are just probably a little bit more open to this style of a guitar. But I've taken this to country band rehearsals, and they're like, you're not going to be playing that for the gig, are you? Or same thing, I played a little while ago in like a 90s cover band sort of thing, and they're like, but you're not going to play that one, are you? No, I guess I don't have to play that one. And at some point you might be saying, well, so what? Like, if you enjoy it and you like playing it, go out and play it. And generally I do. It's just every time I go out and play it, someone has to say something. It's not as benign as going out with a Strat and playing it and no one, has anything to say about your Strat because it's a Strat, Strats are great. I love Strats. Don't get me wrong, but they're fairly boring and benign when it comes to that. You show up and you get this out of a case, people are like, what is that? And a lot of times you do have to say, oh, it's a Strandberg, yada, yada, whatever. It's got this, that, and the other thing. And other times it just gets a little bit annoying. Sometimes a lot of bit annoying. Justifying you playing the guitar of your choice, like a Strandberg, to a bunch of other people. So, if you buy one of these fantastic instruments, just be prepared for that and those other 4 things. Otherwise, these are amazing instruments. I have had a wonderful experience playing these and can't say enough good things about them. So, my name is Matthew Dale. I hope you found this enjoyable, maybe a little bit funny. I'm here to help you play better, sound great, and understand more, and I'll see you next time.